Hello, Professor. This is Group 2 in your IS441 class that meets on Monday nights from 7 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. We did our database on the company Essential Nuts and Candy. Essential Nuts and Candy is a company that's located in Northridge that specializes in manufacturing nut-based candies and dried fruits. The company then distributes their product to larger distributors such as mainstream grocery stores and markets to sell to the general public. Essential Nuts and Candy is a candy manufacturing company that needs to improve their current method of clocking in employees. The current process includes employees manually filling out a time card via pen and paper that keeps track of record and when employees have checked in and checked out of their work. The employee then proceeds to turn in their time card manually to the Department of Human Resources to submit their hours. This process has a number of faults and is very inefficient due to the fact that employees may or may not accurately punch in their time. This would also result to an inaccurate record of employee hours. Because of this mistracked information, an incorrect amount was paid to workers based on the time that they recorded over the time that they actually worked. This faulty process harms the company as a whole, as human resources would have to correct the error by approaching workers physically in order to make these proper changes in pay. This is an inefficient process since it would be HR going back to the employees and making sure that everything's correct. We propose the implementation of an electronic clocking system along with a database that will benefit the company by introducing a strong internal organization system, ease financial discrepancies, provide an accurate system for employee clock-ins, and provide a space for confidential employee information.
Hi, I am Namding, and I'm going to be going over the database analysis and design. So for the physical design, I'll start off with saying that knowing that the volume of data and the data usage patterns are crucial when defining data storage organizations. Once this is known, techniques such as cluster tables ensure that data is stored in sequentially adjacent locations, increasing system performances. Implementing authentication is a crucial step in physical database design, making sure to design user or security groups and roles have important influences which are to be taken very seriously. One way to do this is to use database roles, which are a set of database privileges that could be assigned as a unit to a user or group. The next step is to assign security controls, which can be very helpful in case there is any security breach. Measurement of physical design performances deals with fine-tuning the DBMS and queries to ensure that they meet the requirements of end-user performance. For example, storage media features such as search time, sector, and block size, buffer pool size, and the number of disk platters and reader write heads may affect performance is what we will be doing and implementing into our system. The next part is logical design. The relational database management system that we will be using is Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is a database management system that integrates with the associated Microsoft Jet database engine with the graphical user interface and software development tools. The tables and columns correspond to the entities and attributes that were made prior. These have previously been adjusted in order to comply with the third normal form structure of normalization. In both cases, redundancy is removed by providing each table with a single foreign key that is used to access all other attributes within the various tables. Entity integrity is used within a system in order to maintain the integrity of each of our database primary keys, whereas referential integrity is the same concept applied to the database foreign keys. Primary keys within our database are unique and non-susceptible to alteration. Our database foreign keys refer to primary keys in order to specify the table that is currently being worked in. Our database validation strategies involves defining requirements for each attributes in our database in order to solidify a common standard and basic documentation. Our logical model integrity defines constraints that are supported by the logical data model and displays the physical requirements for each of our attributes within our database.
Hi, I'm Anthony Moreno. I'll be discussing about database implementation and loading. For the relational database management system that we will be using is Microsoft Access. We will be installing our RDBMS using a conventional server. We have concluded that doing this in a traditional manner will be the most cost-effective route, and therefore conventional hosting requires low maintenance and is ideal for the scale of our system. For our data loading, previously, raw data was handled very poorly, so much so that the dirty data was a common occurrence within your previous clock and timesheet management system. The plans and procedures that we propose to prevent dirty data that will work in tandem with our proposed database are mainly the updated clock-in system, as well as the creation of a best practices guide for employees to follow within the updated system. The use of best practices will help eliminate a chunk of the previous sources of dirty data, and the following data that is accepted into our system will be calculated for any errors by the electronic clock-in system prior to being logged within our database. On the right side, you can see the relevant approximations of cost and resources. For the database testing and evaluation, the security access, our system will allow physical access only to authorized people. Essential Nuts and Candy would have one physical database storage to store employees' clock in and out information. 1 to 2 other staff members will also need access to this in order to maintain the system's physical structure. Data encryption. Basic data encryption can convert legible data to illegible data to unauthorized people. Illegible data can only be accessed and converted with the possession of a designated encryption key. Essential Nuts and Candy would have to convert all the data so that no unauthorized personnel can have access to information. Performance evaluation. We will use tools such as the performance analyzer from Microsoft Access in order to fine-tune our database. This will allow us to seamlessly apply optimizations to our database based on the results. Organizational resources. In order for our system to work, we need the proper tools and training. This requires personnel with a basic understanding of computing, along with a strong understanding of database management. The ability to locally manage a server is also highly recommended, as doing so will yield a safer and more efficient result. Skill level would have to be moderate, but can also be improved upon while on the job.
Hi, this is Kimberly. With our proposed database system, it's necessary to define the relevant operation and maintenance metrics. So the first significant procedure would be the assignment of access permissions. The business will assign each user a role and assign authorization rights. And with this, the company will create appropriate roles for the authorized users to monitor the regular staff. The company must assign appropriate roles and permissions based on their trust in the seasoned employees in order to ensure company security and confidentiality. Regarding performance statistics, periodic system examination will be implemented through the generation of weekly log files. This should standardize our data and ensure that all data points contain a level of consistency. As employees clock in and out, data is registered in the database, and a formal report of the recorded data will be produced on a regular basis. These reports will be able to produce internal staff summaries and relevant company analytics. The last relevant procedure will be a system for preventative and corrective maintenance. We plan for the regular collection of backed up data in order to prevent the loss of sensitive information. The company is recommended to have authorized employees review the weekly reports in order to spot out inconsistencies and correct them on a regular basis. This consistent review structure is intended to analyze discrepancies early before they develop and harm regular business operations.
Hi, my name is David, and before we go into a demonstration of our database, I'll be talking about some lessons we learned along the way. The first one being that designing and implementing a database is crucial in handling a lot of data. It keeps track of everything and it keeps everything organized. Another lesson we learned is collaboration can really help when it comes to these sort of things. Working with other people as a team, communication, this can all help in easing the process. The third lesson we learned would be implementing time management as a group. It is important to know how much time you have and how much time you should allocate certain tasks for. Basically, just keep track of time. Lesson number 4 would be the amount of documentation online can be of great assistance. There's a lot of resources you can search on the internet that can help you implement and debug certain things in your database. And the final thing will be, don't underestimate how difficult this can be. Although there is a lot of help, it's still going to take a lot of effort to successfully implement and design a database.
All right, for the demo, I'm going to be going over the database demonstration that we created. All right. So first, we'll go over the demo of the clock-in system that we created. Here we can select any employee. We have a number of test users that we created for the demo purpose, I'll go ahead and select my name and then fill in the date automatically. And then we can go ahead and clock in. Once we have this clocked in, the system will fill in all of the information automatically. These are all automatically generated to prevent users from making any sort of human errors and to limit those errors as much as we can. This database, this holds all of the company information, such as the company ID, which is our primary key, essential nuts and candy. And it also holds all of the employee IDs for all of the employees that the company employs. The employee database holds all of the employees' names, so you can see the test users that we created as well as the owner. It holds the employee title, salary, contact information, bank information, and the timesheet IDs. So now we go over to HR and payroll. HR needs access to payroll and payroll needs access to the timesheet. These two databases, we weren't implementing anything in there since the current issue with the company is simply the lack of a proper clock-in system. So once we go ahead and implement them, they can put in their numbers and information in there themselves. So the timesheet data, this database is generated automatically once we go back to our timesheet and clock out. As you can see, this timesheet, I guess, entered is from when we put in the time in. And when we clock out, it should show up in the timeout section, and it should calculate the time worked automatically. And it also shows today's date and my employee ID, which is number 7, Samuel Kim, number 7. So let's go ahead and clock out and then open up the timesheet data. And as you can see, it clocked this out and we worked a total of 2 minutes. As you can see, our system tries to take out as much human error as possible, and it should serve the purposes for essential nuts and candy. Thank you.